Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, you can learn something from everyone that crosses your path. There's nothing you can't do, nothing you can't learn, right? I never finished my degree in college, but I will tell you I have a master's degree in Google with a minor in Yahoo and Bing. I really believe there's two different types of people in this world. There's people that watch things happen, and there's people that make things happen. And I wanted to be a person that was going to go out there and make things happen. Hello everybody, my name is Ingle, and I'm here to share with you guys some of the several failures that I've converted to lessons, which have also converted to success. And so I'll talk a little bit about some of those pinnacle moments in my life and how I remember them and what they've done for me and how they've led me to reap the benefits of several failures, and also the power of not giving up and what that means and where that can take you. Grew up pretty poor, pretty tough childhood, moved around a lot, never really had a home that was stable and secure, and had brothers and sisters that lived the same life as me and just took a different perspective on it, really. My sisters use it as a crutch for the rest of their lives, and it's affected them negatively. And what I was able to do was, I think the smartest thing I've ever been able to do in life is learn from other people's failures. And I think that's what's enabled me to slingshot myself into success. I didn't think I'd be where I'm at today, at this age, with this much responsibility, but I think it's because I've been able to convert failures to lessons and lessons to success very quickly. And so realizing that my parents didn't know that they failed, but they failed in understanding and knowing how to raise a child. And so I took that and said, okay, the lesson to be learned there is not to be like my parents. So I extracted myself out of the way that they raised us and really did everything I could to not be a part of that. Life's not a book and you can go from chapter to chapter, right? Sometimes you get the cliff notes and you skim through it, and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. There's a little bit of luck in that. So I didn't really have that on my side, but what I did have was the ability to learn what not to do at a very young age. And so realizing I was headed down the wrong path at the age of 14 is what pushed me to run away. And so running away at the age of 14, taking a cab with a black trash bag full of clothes to clear out my bank account, and which was only $135. But went down to the Greyhound bus station and realized, okay, I had $135. I wanted some money to eat and for a couple of other things to try and get to San Antonio. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna allow myself $80 to head down 35 South. My goal was from South St. Paul, Minnesota to San Antonio. And so the bus guy at the ticket office said, pick Dallas or Fort Worth. That's as far as I can get you with $80. So I ended up in Dallas, Texas, and grabbed a phone book, started calling people with my last name because I knew I had relatives here in the Metroplex, and got to the 7th Diane Ingle, and it was an aunt of mine, and said, I just need a place to shower and a place to crash, and I'll figure it all out tomorrow. And so she picked me up, took a shower, and took me over to my step-grandfather's house on my dad's side. They lived just 20 minutes north of Dallas, and basically said, here's the rules. If you don't have any problem with these rules, you can stay here. And so I settled in Dallas, Texas, and really made it a point to not be a burden on them. And so I found whatever it is I could do to work to earn a living. I paid for my own school supplies, I paid for my own school clothes, and worked 2 jobs at the age of 16 and moved out on my own at 17, and grew up fast. And so I realized that I can't depend on anybody else to make decisions for me. I can't depend on anybody to give me money, to give me guidance. Now, it's nice when you have those things. It's always great to have a mentor, and I was fortunate to have one of those throughout my high school years, who really kind of figured out that I was good at building things and making things work, but I was also really good at tearing things up and breaking things. So I'm glad that I figured that out. Otherwise, I'd have been tearing up a bunch of stuff and who knows what would have happened with that. So worked for a company called Boeing Aerospace and Defense at a very young age, went through different fields of engineering and really started thinking outside the box at that age. And so went to work for a combustion engineering company, designing fuel skids and burners with engineers that were way older than me and way smarter than me. And so while working at Boeing, I was part of an engineering design team, Lean and Kaizen. And so we got to go around different parts of the building and the facility and check out operations and observe the processes and the procedures that all the staff members were performing, whether it was on the wiring harness or in engineering or facilities. And so I was part of a team that helped kind of collaborate and make things better, make things faster, make things cheaper and more ergonomic. And so I was exposed to that at a very young age. So I think from then on, I never looked at anything the same. I always looked at a task or a job or a project and always had in the back of my mind, how can I make it easier, faster, and think outside the box? And I think that's what's stuck with me. So took that experience and that education and graduated high school at 18. I had 2 years of engineering experience under my belt, plus some engineering college courses, and got picked up by a combustion engineering company. And so I used SolidWorks and AutoCAD, and we did design and drafting and drawing, and worked with a bunch of engineers that were way older than me and definitely a lot smarter, but used my ability to think outside the box to help come up with simple problem solving, and also asking a lot of questions. Being that I had an engineering background and a mechanical ability to build things even inside my head without having to actually build them in real life, I think is what's enabled me to be the type of entrepreneur that I am. I think there's several different types of entrepreneurs, but I have the ability to think outside the box and mechanically improve processes, procedures, machines. And so that's basically what's taken me to where I'm at today. So taking all that engineering experience and all of that knowledge and time working for other people and learning what they've taught me at a very young age, I wrote a business plan, and at 23 years old, convinced the bank and some investors to loan me some money and start a business. And that business was a sports bar. And so I wrote the business plan, I got the funding, I negotiated the real estate deal to purchase the property, I managed the construction, and then I worked with my partner and we developed the business plan for the operational side of things, the P&L, managing, TABC and all of that process. And so in a short period of time, it was a living, breathing business. And I was 23 years old and it was a sports bar. So I think I had way more fun than I did, than I was supposed to. I had way more fun than I was supposed to, but I learned a lot. And so at the end of the day, the numbers didn't work out the way we thought they would, and we had some difference of opinions with our business partners, and we handed the business over to them, and ultimately at the end of the day it shut down, and we were left with some real estate and a failed business. But what I was left with was an education that I couldn't purchase, lessons learned, experiences gained that they don't teach you in college, right? So I took all of that experience and all of that knowledge and figured out that I needed to make the next move, and flat broke, not even able to pay my mortgage. I started a construction company, and that cost me $24. So it was $3.99 to print my own business cards from Staples, $20 to register at the comptroller's office, and I found a website to give me free leads for 30 days. And so I just went and hustled, and I was building mailboxes and doing steps and pressure washing a chimney, and took that business from inception to a little over $750,000 in the first year. And it was because I realized that I had to work harder and I had to work smarter, and that I should probably keep things closer to my eyes instead of relying on other people and partners. And so there was a couple of instances where they didn't see eye to eye with me, and I think that I could have taken those lessons and just threw my hands up and said, okay, maybe business wasn't for me. Or on the other hand, really say, maybe I just didn't do it hard enough, and I didn't push to get my ideas out there like I have the ability to do now. And so that's what I did. So I literally worked from sunup to sundown, sometimes through the middle of the night, working on proposals, trying to get projects, learning the construction business that I didn't have any experience in, but doing what I say I was going to do, showing up when I said I was going to show up, and building relationships. That's what my construction business is built on. Today, we are a multi-million-dollar company. We don't do any advertising. My phone just rings all off of referrals. And it's because I've realized through all of these steps that building relationships is the most important thing that you can do when you're trying to build a business. And everyone fails, and everyone learns, and everyone lives their lives, but they do it with relationships. If you're in this world alone, there's no point in living it. So you have to realize and understand that there are certain people that cross paths during your lifetime, and you should learn everything about those, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. You can learn something from everyone that crosses your path. And I think it's your job to extrapolate whatever it is that's going to be the best lessons for you to learn, right? We cannot manufacture more time. So the best thing you can do is take 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of experience from somebody else's life, consolidate that into just a few moments of them sharing those experiences with you, and moving forward with those in your back pocket. And so starting my construction business, learned everything there was to learn about concrete. I got bored again, just like I did with my first job. And so I realized, okay, I've got the ability to fix things and build things. What else can I do? What other problems can I solve? And so I fell asleep one late night on my mattress with my sheets in the washer. They still had to go to the dryer. And I was grossed out by the fact I was sleeping on my bare mattress. So I said, there's got to be a way to clean this. There's got to be a company or a machine or a technology. And when I realized there wasn't, I stayed up the entire night researching it. And so made an initiative and set a goal and said, okay, when I raise this much money, I'm going to leap into this business. And so I spent several years developing the technology on a computer and on paper, because research and development, until you actually act on it, doesn't cost you anything other than a little bit of time and your brain. And so with the world at your fingertips, there's nothing you can't do, nothing you can't learn, right? I never finished my degree in college, but I will tell you I have a master's degree in Google with a minor in Yahoo and Bing. And so I think that's what's enabled me to, get where I'm at and learn what I've learned. And it's all free. That's the best thing, right? So I finished a big project with my construction company, and I had a little nest egg of money. And I said, okay, today's the day I'm going to launch this business. And I started building a prototype in my garage at home out of random stuff in my garage and several trips to the hardware store, and invented this machine that sanitizes and sterilizes mattresses, and took it to production and got it to market. And the same thing happened. I got bored. And so I figured I wanted to go solve another problem. And so success to me is taking an idea and pushing it all the way through and bringing it to market. And there are several failures along the way, but there's also several lessons along the way. So I took what I learned in working for other people, and what I learned from the failed bar business, and what I learned in my construction company, and I rolled all of that up into starting the next business. So I realized then that little nest egg that I set aside to start that clean sleep company wasn't enough money, and it took way longer than I thought it was going to take. So starting my next business, I went and leveraged what I could leverage, brought in investors early, and went from idea to market in 10 months with the next company. And so I think that you can't be afraid of failure. You have to just understand that those failures have to convert to lessons, and then those lessons will ultimately lead you to success. And so with that, I'll leave you with a few words on why I think I was successful and how I got to where I'm at today. Reflecting back on what I was able to learn and what I was able to accomplish, a few things that I'd like to really hone in on is the fact that I really believe there's two different types of people in this world. there's people that watch things happen, and there's people that make things happen. And I wanted to be a person that was going to go out there and make things happen. You have the ability to sit back and watch life pass you by and enjoy it all and soak it all up. Or you can also be a pioneer and be the front runner and go out there and chase it and get it and let everybody else reap the benefits of it. And I'm okay with that. And so I think that becoming a great leader is also important. And that comes with being able to pass responsibilities out to other people, and understand that perfection is a moving target. There's no perfect time to start a business and start a family, start a relationship and have kids, right? But we figure it all out. And so you just can't be afraid to figure it out today and take a chance, not have all the answers, not have all the solutions, definitely not have all the money, but have the drive to go out and make it happen. And so I think that having a great team is also very important. The best thing you can do is surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, people that are experienced in other places, other facets of a business that are also very valuable and important. Don't try to consume your entire day or your business with learning everything there is to learn about a business. Take what you're good at, leave everything else to other people, and you'll see how much further you'll go, how much faster you'll get there, and how successful you can really be. And so one of the greatest things that gives me joy and makes me feel like I'm successful is the ability to help others and let them grow and learn and experience uncharted territory along with me. And so if you can find that mentor, whether it's your family members, your coworkers, somebody that inspires you, or even hearing these talks and understanding these messages and letting them sink in with you, do it today. Don't wait. Take a chance, take a risk. You'll be glad you did. Clean Sleep is expanding and growing so fast. We have pivoted because of COVID from cleaning mattresses to cleaning masks. We've done almost 500,000 masks now and saved several 100,000 people from being susceptible or taking the risk of serving our front line in the healthcare sector by cleaning their masks for them. I understand that it's important to give back and to help others. And if I can take just a few moments of my life to give you direction or guidance, I would love to do it. And so thank you for tuning in. Follow us, cleansleep.com. We're in social media. You can find us on the internet. And I look forward to seeing and hearing about your success stories.
Tell us what you think about this video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.